Chapter 25 to 26. Hashtag Otogekure hashtag. Orochimaru was cursing every single fiber of Naruto's being. Orochimaru was considering if he should keep Naruto alive for his purposes or kill him for destroying the chakra network on his arm. The moment his chakra network was destroyed, he lost the ability to mold chakra in that arm, preventing him from doing hand seals and as such preventing him from doing any type of jutsus that required any hand seals. Kabuto had studied his arm and tried to heal it, but you can't heal something that doesn't exist. With his level of knowledge, Kabuto didn't stand a chance at doing anything to heal his master. Of course Orochimaru had a solution, which was to swap bodies, but he wanted to wait for a very special body that he felt was getting closer and closer. He could feel all of Sasuke's hate and hunger for vengeance, and soon enough he would belong to Orochimaru. "I'm sorry Orochimaru-sama, but this type of wound is beyond me," Kabuto replied sadly, and Orochimaru cursed the blonde. Everything was good until he showed up, and the barrier he placed didn't even slow him down, but above else he has the eyes. Orochimaru always wanted the Mangekyo Sharingan. "It can't be helped, there is only one person that might be able to heal me," Orochimaru said, sweating. Losing the chakra network in his arm placed him in constant pain as his cells weren't properly fed. "And who might that be?" Kabuto asked as he pushed the glasses in his face up. "My former teammate Senju Tsunade," Orochimaru replied with a glint in his eyes. He knew exactly what it would take to convince her. "Contact our spies, we are leaving now," Orochimaru ordered. Hashtag Konoha's Dango stand hashtag. A few days had passed since Naruto, Hinata, and Jiraiya left in search for Naruto's grandmother, Senju Tsunade, so she could return to the village to become the Sarutobi's successor as Godame Hokage. The constructions around the village were progressing very well as they didn't receive much damage. The most important buildings were protected by Naruto's barrier seals, allowing the hospital and other buildings to remain working non-stop. In the middle of Konoha, more precisely in the Dango stand that Anko spends most of her time in, were two cloaked persons inside drinking a bit of tea and eating dango, since it was a dango stand. Both of them had long, high-collared black cloaks with red clouds in them, on top of their heads, straw hats with a small bell hanging by a small red wire. These two unknown members actually belonged to an organization called Akatsuki that were after the bijus like the one in Naruto, but no one knew that. "Have you heard the news?" one civilian asked, and both Akatsuki members focused on the conversation. Believe it or not, listening to civilians talk is a very good way to scout for information. "About what?" one other civilian replied. "That brat, Uzumaki Naruto, is now Senju Naruto. Apparently is the heir of the Senju clan and great-grandson of the first Hokage," the civilian said. "Did you hear that Itachi-san?" the Akatsuki member asked his partner, now identified as Itachi. Uchiha Itachi, the prodigy of the Uchiha clan and the one that butchered all of them except his little brother a few years ago. "Yes, Kisame. This is new revelations, we must inform our leader," Itachi replied in his monotone voice, and Kisame nodded. "You don't say, but I thought he was an Uchiha since he has the Sharingan," the civilian replied, and Itachi's eyes widened, revealing a pair of blood-red eyes with 3 tomos in it. "I think you missed one a couple years ago," Kisame said, chuckling. It was fun to see at least some emotion coming off from Itachi since he was always stoic and didn't say much. "Interesting, how can Naruto-kun have the Sharingan?" Itachi mused in thought. "I know for certainty that I killed all of my clan minus my foolish little brother. Neither Kushina-senpai nor Minato had the Sharingan. Is it the Kyuubi?" Itachi thought as he ran through all the various scenarios on his head to explain. "What are you thinking so hard about?" Kisame asked in an amused tone. "I don't understand, how could Naruto be an Uchiha? It doesn't add up," Itachi replied. "Well, if you listened to what they were saying you would know. Apparently the brat is the grandson of Uchiha Madara," Kisame said, and Itachi froze. He never said anything about having a grandson. If he had a grandson he would most likely use him to achieve his goals. "Kushina-senpai didn't give off chakra similar to an Uchiha, which only leads me to conclude that it was Minato," Itachi thought. "Minato never showed his Sharingan and yet he was a force to be reckoned with. Deception, the true way of the shinobi," Itachi thought, chuckling to himself. He was considered a genius among genius, a prodigy that appears once every 100 years, very similar to Minato, but it appears that Minato won the pool. "This is very interesting indeed," Itachi said as they continued to listen to their conversation. A few minutes later another civilian said something that caught their attention. "It's a good that the Sandame is retiring. He did so much for our village, he deserves to rest," the civilian said. "Yes, and the chosen to the Godame Hokage was Senju Tsunade," the civilian said. "Looks like the Hokage title falls into the Senju once again," the civilian replied. I know, the other replied chuckling. Jiraiya-sama left with Naruto-sama so they could find her and bring her back, the civilian said. Looks like we lucked out, the QB just left town, Kisame said sadly. He was hoping to feed a good portion of chakra to his Samahata. Yes, let's leave before we are discovered, Itachi replied, and both of them stood up and left the stand. Both members were walking through the village, making their way out of the village when they came across with two familiar faces, to Itachi at least. You aren't from the village, right? Asuma asked, weary of the unidentified males in front of them. Why are you here? Asuma asked. Long time no see, Asuma-san, Kurenai-san, Itachi said in his monotone voice. If you know who we are, then you must be a shinobi from this village, Asuma said. Itachi simply raised his hat slightly to allow them to see his blood-red eyes. The moment they saw his eyes, they both tensed. Uchiha Itachi? Asuma asked, and Itachi dropped his hat and let his hair flow with the wind, locking eyes with the two jonins in front of them. You know these people, Itachi-san? Kisame asked and also dropped his hat. Then I'll present myself. Hashigaki Kisame, a pleasure to meet you, Kisame said. You dare show your face after what you have done? Asuma asked as he kept his guard up. Even with Kurenai, he didn't know if he could take him on, and his companion wouldn't help at all. I'm going to end you both, Asuma said. Itachi-san, it looks like you are hated in this village, Kisame said, chuckling. I know who you are, Kurenai said, eyeing Kisame. Hashigaki Kisame, former member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, Kurenai informed. You are in a lot of trouble for coming here, Itachi, Asuma said. Don't get involved in my work, I have no intention of killing you, Itachi said. You aren't the type of person to return here without a goal. What is it that you want from the village? Asuma asked. You are annoying, Kisame said, and took his sword out and hit the ground, making chunks fly and a bit of dust to rise. Should I kill them? Kisame asked Itachi. It appears we aren't leaving without a fight, Itachi said. The moment Itachi said that, Kisame picked his sword and tried to hit Asuma, who jumped back to avoid. Asuma took out his trench knives and blocked the next sword swing. Kurenai used the cover that Asuma gave her and went through hand seals, disappearing into thin air. Genjutsu? Itachi thought as he used his Sharingan to analyze the battle. Asuma was starting to sweat as he was being pushed by the sword. Kisame was a lot stronger than he let on, and that with only a single hand. My Samahata doesn't cut, it shreds, Kisame said, and pulled his sword back, shredding through Asuma's skin and drawing blood, making him wince in pain. Meanwhile, Kurenai had her Genjutsu ready. You are late, Kurenai, Asuma said, nursing his arm. The moment Asuma said that, the ground around Kisame started to melt and he was trapped and unable to move. Behind Itachi, a tree suddenly sprouted from the ground and snared him in place. Kurenai emerged from the tree with a kunai at hand, getting ready to kill him. This is the end for you, Kurenai said, and moments later she realized that she was the one pinned to the tree and was watching Itachi ran towards her with a blade at hand. Kurenai bit her lip and used the pain to break the illusion. The moment she broke it, she ducked under a horizontal slash from Itachi's blade. Itachi saw Kurenai duck and gave her a kick that she blocked, but she was sent towards a nearby river nonetheless. Kurenai, Asuma shouted, concerned with her. You don't have time to look away, Kisame said. Meanwhile, on top of the river. That was very good, Kurenai-san, Itachi said as he quickly appeared next to her at the river. But... Itachi said, but was interrupted. But this is the end for you, another voice said from behind Itachi. He turned around to come face to face with Kakashi himself. Asuma was dodging swing after swing until he saw an opening and tried a slash with his knives that gave Kisame a small cut through his cheek. As a reply, Kisame started going through hand seals and said, Suiton, Suryuden no Jutsu, water dragon, Kisame said, and from the river a water dragon erupted and went towards Asuma. Out of nowhere came another dragon of equal strength that clashed with the one from Kisame, destroying each other. The same jutsu? Kisame asked, surprised. Why are you here? Asuma asked. I thought you might need a hand, Kakashi replied. Suddenly Itachi's hand flew out of his jacket with shurikens ready to throw. Kakashi jumped back and said, Suiton, Sojin Hiki, water wall. A water wall rose up around Kakashi, blocking 4 water drills. Apparently the shurikens were a mere distraction from Itachi. He's fast. I barely saw the hand seals, Kakashi thought as he analyzed the powerful opponent in front of him. Very good, You are skilled with that eye of yours, Itachi. Right before a shadow clone from Itachi come behind Kakashi and stabbed him with a kunai, Kakashi bursted into water, revealing it to a simple water clone. Water clone? Kisame asked, amazed. He knows so much jutsus from my village, Kisame thought. Itachi was looking for Kakashi when something caught his attention. He looked down only to see Kakashi giving Kurenai a kunai. But, the moment Kurenai was about to attack one of the Itachis in the river, Kakashi tackled her just before the clone exploded. Kakashi! Kurenai! Asuma yelled as he also jumped into the river. The water was coming down from the explosion and showed a lightly scorched Kakashi and an unharmed Kurenai and Asuma. Be careful with him. He became an ANBU captain at 13 years old. Kakashi explained. I didn't expect him to be so strong, Asuma said, surprised. No, he has yet to show his true strength, Kakashi explained. You are really skilled with your Sharingan even though you aren't an Uchiha, Itachi said. He's right, I tire easily, Kakashi thought. Sharingan, the true power of the Sharingan. I'm about to show you why the Uchiha clan was feared and unparalleled in power, Itachi said just before his eyes opened very slowly. This is bad. If his powers are what Naruto told me about, then we are in big trouble, Kakashi thought. Guys, close your eyes, no matter what happens don't open them, Kakashi yelled, stressing every word. Only a Sharingan user can fight him, Kakashi explained. It's true that a Sharingan user can resist it, but you can't counter this technique with it, Itachi explained just before he locked eyes with Kakashi. Tsukuyomi. Hashtag Tsukuyomi world hashtag. The moment Itachi pronounced that single word, Kakashi was drawn into another world. The sky was red and the clouds and sun were black. Kakashi was pinned to a cross, trying his best to break the illusion. Don't overexert yourself, this technique is unbreakable. In here I'm God and control everything. 3 days in here are but 3 seconds in the real world, Itachi explained as he had a sword on his hand and was clear what he was going to do to Kakashi. Suddenly Itachi stabbed Kakashi in the gut and he yelled in pain. Itachi suddenly multiplied and all of them had swords and started stabbing Kakashi as well. 71 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds remaining, Itachi said as Kakashi was healed and he started stabbing again. Hashtag real world, 3 seconds later hashtag. What happened? Asuma asked as he felt Kakashi wince in pain but didn't know what happened. His mind held on. Kisame asked, surprised to see Kakashi still standing but taking hard breaths. It seemed a miracle that he yet managed to stand, but Itachi-san, it's dangerous to use those eyes, Kisame said. By the looks of it, Naruto was right, Kakashi thought. Are you after Sasuke? Kakashi asked, his voice strained by the genjutsu he just suffered. No, Itachi replied. We are looking for the Yandame's legacy, Itachi relied in his traditional monotone voice. You are from the Akatsuki, aren't you? Kakashi asked, surprising everyone in there. Kisame, we are taking Kakashi with us, Itachi suddenly said, and Kisame dashed towards him only to intercept by a fierce kick from Konoha's green beast Mado Guy. Who are you? Kisame asked as he regained his footing. Konoha's green beast Mado Guy replied with his teeth sparkling as he took his Goken stance. Look at you, perhaps you meant to say fool, Kisame taunted, but Itachi cut him off saying, don't underestimate him. Suddenly Kakashi fell to the water and started sinking only to be caught by Guy. Open your eyes, Guy said to Asuma and Kurenai. But Kakashi. Kurenai said but was cut off. Just don't look at his eyes, focus on his legs and arms and fight from there, Guy explained as they both opened their eyes, but it seemed that they were always drawn to lock eyes with Itachi. Easier said than done, Asuma said. Kisame, we are leaving, we didn't come here to start a war, Itachi said, and they both disappeared in a blur. They are gone, I'm taking Kakashi to the hospital, Guy said and disappeared as well. Hashtag with Sasuke hashtag. Sasuke was currently in the Uchiha compound in one of the many training grounds, taking out his frustrations on some unlucky wooden dummy. He was frustrated from everything he learned during the council meeting. That Naruto just seemed to have everything. Sharingan, Sasuke remembered as he drove a fist through the wooden dummy, destroying the right arm. Uchiha Madara, Sasuke remembered and gave an open palm strike and severed the dummy's head. Senju, Sasuke remembered and gave it a spin kick and destroyed both legs, leaving only the torso left. Pure blood, Sasuke seethed and charged a Chidori and completely obliterated the dummy, leaving nothing but bits and chunks on the ground. The once mighty wooden dummy was no more. Sasuke took a couple of deep breaths, trying his best to calm himself. He went towards his house to take a bath to clean the sweat from the training session, until he remembered something. When you awake your Sharingan, go to the main house and look beneath the 7th tatami mat from the far right. That is where our clan used to meet, in there you will find your answers, Sasuke remembered. One of the last things Itachi ever said to him just after he massacred the clan, leaving only him behind. Sasuke quickly made his way towards the main hall. Since his clan demise, he only used his house and the other buildings were just gathering dust. He quickly arrived at the main house and made his way towards the meeting hall. He counted 7 tatamis from the far right. He removed the 7th, and beneath it was a small staircase that seemed to go in deep beneath the main building. He quickly made his down, but it was pitch black. He scanned his surroundings and used a small fire jutsu to light the torches. He suddenly came face to face with a big stone wall and, by the looks of it, it seemed very sturdy and heavy, but Sasuke noticed the Sharingan design in the middle of it and quickly activated his. What seemed to be an empty wall now had writing in it. He quickly performed the hand seals instructed in the wall, and stone moved to the side, allowing entrance to the chambers. Apparently only someone with the Sharingan was allowed entrance to such place. Sasuke entered the new room, and as he expected was empty and dark, but the Sharingan enabled him to see better at night, so he found the torches and lit them. The moment the torches flared to life, Sasuke saw a big room with a tablet in the middle. Behind the tablet, a wall with the Uchiha fan in it. Sasuke used his Sharingan and looked very carefully at the tablet. It seemed that he could only read bits and pieces, but from what he could read it clearly stated that there was another level above the Sharingan, and it was the Mangekyo Sharingan. Maybe the more advanced the eyes, the more I can read, Sasuke pondered in thought as he was using the Sharingan to read what was written in the tablet. Everything the tablet said was exactly like Itachi had said about his eyes. Sasuke knew he needed to achieve the next level of eyes so he could go up against his brother and defeat him. Interesting enough, the tablet said nothing about the half-blood and pure-blood Uchihas, so Sasuke wondered just how old this tablet was. I will need every bit of power I can get to defeat him, ### with Naruto, Hinata, and Jiraiya, ###. A few days had passed since they left Konoha. As they were going towards the town, Jiraiya had received info from his spy network. According to his spies, Tsunade was last seen in a small town in the Land of Fire called Tenzaku. One interesting fact is, don't for a moment think that Jiraiya won't be a pervert around you, even when you sleep. This particular fact was a surprise to Naruto and Hinata, since both of them got a room for them and Jiraiya was left with one to him. Jiraiya, being the pervert that he is, thought that Naruto might be getting some action with his girlfriend, and as such used his infiltration jutsu and infiltrated Naruto's room with his notepad ready to write. Not a good idea to try and spy on someone who has the Sharingan and Byakugan that can spot anyone using chakra. As such, he was once again in the receiving end of Hinata's Juken techniques and Naruto defense seals, zapping the poor pervert. They were approaching the town Jiraiya heard about. They have been walking a couple of hours now, and they were starting to see the town on the horizon. This town was famous for having a huge castle in the middle. So Naruto, are you working on some new technique? Jiraiya asked, wanting any juicy details. If he had the same mind as his father's, then any technique would be worth learning. Actually, yes. I'm working on recreating the lightning armor since I saw the basics during the battle against Orochimaru. I can already channel lightning chakra through my synapses to further increase my reaction time, but the outer shell is a bit tricky. Naruto explained, and Jiraiya was stunned. You do realize that is an S-rank jutsu, right? Jiraiya asked. I know. That's why I'm trying to recreate it. I think I'm rather good with lightning jutsus. I'll get it down eventually, Naruto said, and Jiraiya nodded. His father was the same. When he got some jutsu idea on his head, it would stay there until solved. How about in the meantime you improve the Rasengan, Jiraiya said, and Naruto got confused look. Improve? My father's notes didn't say anything about a better Rasengan, Naruto asked, and Jiraiya nodded. Your father created the Rasengan intending to add his elemental affinity to it, but it might be a jump to do that yet. So why don't you try to make a bigger Rasengan by pumping more chakra into it? Jiraiya said, and Naruto pondered. The Rasengan was by itself an A-rank jutsu. If he created a bigger one, it would go towards S-rank, and adding elemental affinity, it would most likely be a one-shot kill. An Udama Rasengan, big Rasengan? Naruto asked for confirmation, and Jiraiya nodded. So I just pump more chakra into it? Naruto asked, and Jiraiya nodded again. How much more? Naruto asked. How about you try with twice the chakra and go from there, Jiraiya said, and Naruto nodded. As they were walking, Naruto decided to try and do a big Rasengan. They were walking and Naruto was focusing chakra to his hand. He started spinning the first round of chakra and immediately created a layer to compress it and easily reach the normal Rasengan. He started pouring more chakra into it and the ball started glowing even more. Sensing no strain in containing it, he continued to add chakra and was easily reaching the double the normal Rasengan. He was about to tell Jiraiya he managed twice the amount when the Rasengan suddenly destabilized and exploded in his hand. The result of the explosion created a shockwave that sent everyone tumbling to the ground as they didn't expect the backslash from the jutsu. His Rasengan seemed just fine a few moments ago. "Damn it, brat," Jiraiya said. "How about you train it away from us?" Hinata asked, and she got up and dusted off her clothes. "My bad," Naruto said, chuckling and rubbing the back of his head. "We are almost at town, how about you keep the training for later," Jiraiya said. "Away from us," Jiraiya stressed, and Naruto's sweat dropped. It was a little shock wave after all. "Fine," Naruto said, pouting as he couldn't train this new technique right away. "He might be strong, but he's still a brat," Jiraiya said, shaking his head. "But he isn't strong enough to take on Kage-level shinobi alone, though he has techniques to run away," Jiraiya thought as was thinking on what should he teach Naruto. They arrived at the gates and entered the city. Hinata and Naruto were marveled by all the activity going on and all the people having fun in the various stands available. They didn't leave the village much and only started after they became genin. "Let's go to a hotel and sleep the night. We will start searching tomorrow," Jiraiya stated, and they both nodded. They were calmly walking through the town completely unaware of two presences after them. They were keeping their distance and suppressing their chakra level so they wouldn't be detected. "Looks like the information was accurate. He did leave the village with Jiraiya, but I don't know the girl," Kisame said as he watched the three of them check into a hotel. "The girl's name is Hyuga Hinata and she was the Hyuga's heiress but was expelled from the clan," Itachi calmly explained. "She doesn't seem like much," Kisame said as he watched her. "She seemed too fragile like a doll. We are shinobi, don't underestimate her. She was promoted to Chunnin along Naruto-kun. We don't have much info on her, so tread carefully even if she seems weak," Itachi explained. He was always the prudent one while Kisame tended to jump in, guns blazing. "Fine, but even we can't take on Jiraiya," Kisame said. "Indeed. Let's find some girls," Itachi said, and Kisame's jaw dropped. "You want to get laid?" Kisame asked, and Itachi got a tick mark. "I heard about Jiraiya's obsession for women. It's our best choice to distract him long enough for us to get to Naruto-kun," Itachi explained, and Kisame nodded. "What about the girl?" Kisame asked. "She is irrelevant, although it appears that Naruto is very close to her. Notice how he walks close to her yet he's slightly ahead of her as if shielding her, and he's ready to jump into action at any time," Itachi analyzed. "He seems close to her, so we might use it for our advantage," Itachi said, and Kisame nodded. "Let's go," Kisame said, and they both disappeared in a blur. Hashtag with Tsunade hashtag. Two women could be seen walking through the empty streets of the town. The reason they were empty was simply because they were walking through a castle that made that town famous. The first woman had a slender frame and a rather large bust. She had brown eyes and long pale golden hair that was strapped in two pigtails. On her forehead she had a purple diamond tattoo. She was wearing a grass-green haori with the kanji for gamble written in black on the back, inside a red circle. Underneath she wears a gray, kimono-style blouse with no sleeves, held closed by a broad, dark bluish-gray obi that matches her pants. Her blouse is closed quite low, revealing her sizable cleavage. She wears open-toed sandals with high heels and red polish on both her fingernails and toenails. She also wears a soft pink lipstick. She was also wearing a necklace with a green stone, similar to an emerald. The other person was a fair-skinned woman of average height and slender build with black eyes and hair. Her hair is straight and shoulder-length with bangs that cover her ears and frames her face. She was wearing a long bluish-black kimono with white trimmings, held closed by a white obi, and open-toed sandals with low heels. They were Senju Tsunade, Naruto's grandmother, and a world-renowned medic, and her apprentice Kato Shizun. Suddenly the earth started shaking and the castle they were walking to visit exploded and came crashing down. As the dust started to clear, it showed that the castle was destroyed by a rather large snake with two people on top of his head. "I found you," Orochimaru said from the top of the snake's head. "Orochimaru," Tsunade said with her eyes widened. She hadn't seen her teammates in a very long time. It was approaching on 2 decades by now. "Long no time no see, Orochimaru," Tsunade said. She knew that Orochimaru was missing Nin and as such was treating him wearily, especially since she knew exactly what he could do. "You are difficult to find," Orochimaru replied. "What do you want with me?" Tsunade asked, trying to get this over with. You didn't come to talk about the past, did you? Tsunade rhetorically asked. Actually, I wanted to ask a small favor, Orochimaru said. He doesn't look good, he looks like he's in constant pain, Tsunade thought as she observed Orochimaru taking particular attention to his arm, who was limp at his side with bandages around. Tsunade-sama, you can already tell what we want, Kabuto said. Find another one, I've stopped performing medicine, Tsunade flatly replied. You can see very well the extent of the injury, there isn't another one, Kabuto explained. That arm, that isn't a simple injury, Tsunade said, fishing for information. A sealing technique, his arm isn't giving off chakra, as if it didn't even have chakra network, Tsunade analyzed. What did you do to get that? Tsunade asked. Just something that happened when I attacked the leaf, Orochimaru said, and Tsunade's eyes widened. You did what? Tsunade asked, surprised. Looks like Sensei did a number on you, Tsunade said, chuckling. It wasn't Sensei, it was your pesky of a grandson, Orochimaru said, and both Tsunade and Shizen froze. What grandson? Tsunade said. Don't tell me you didn't know, Orochimaru said, chuckling. Tsunade dashed forward and grabbed him by his clothes. Answer me, Tsunade yelled, giving off so much killer intent that Kabuto was sweating slightly. Exactly what I said. Your grandson did this to me, Orochimaru said. But, he's dead, Tsunade said, and even Orochimaru got confused. He seemed very alive when he destroyed my chakra network, Orochimaru said, annoyed. He still hadn't made his mind on to either kill the brat or kidnap him for his experiments. Maybe he could clone him and once the body was properly matured use it as his own. But, I got a letter from Sensei saying that no one survived the Kyuubi's attack, Tsunade said, shocked that her grandson was still alive. She knew that her daughter Kushina was pregnant at the time. Looks like someone has been playing games with you, Orochimaru said, chuckling. You see, even Sensei has betrayed you, Orochimaru said. Tsunade was lost in thoughts at the revelation. Her own sensei said that no one survived the Kyuubi's attack, and 14 years later she hears that her grandson is alive and kicking. Enough of this, Tsunade said, and punched a nearby wall, completely destroying it. She would have her answers when she got to the leaf and no one would stop her. She was about to dash towards Orochimaru when he started talking again. If you heal me, I'll bring back your daughter, brother and lover, Orochimaru said, smirking, and everyone froze and Tsunade started shaking. Don't you want to be with them, Tsunade? Orochimaru asked, pressuring her even more, and she started sweating and remembering everything she had lost. If I heal that arm, what will you do? Tsunade asked, making eye contact. I dislike lies, so I'll destroy the leaf, Orochimaru replied. Destroy the leaf? Shizen rhetorically asked. Tsunade-sama, you can't accept this. I would like nothing more than to have them back, but you can't heal his arm, Shizen stressed out. Shut up, Shizen, Tsunade yelled, and Orochimaru smirked. Tsunade sunk her head deep in thought. You don't have to answer now, Kabuto explained, and she raised her head. You will have a week, and this kenjutsu requires human sacrifices, so it's up to you to gather 3 sacrifices, Kabuto explained. Tsunade-sama, let's kill them both here. With the state of his arm we won't get another chance, Shizen said, but once she looked at Tsunade she fell silent. Tsunade was very deep in thought, almost unaware of her surroundings. Don't think just because I can't do hand seals I can't put up a fight, Orochimaru said, and bit his finger, drawing blood. The moment Tsunade saw blood she started shivering and clutching to her necklace. I know of your fear for blood, Orochimaru said, chuckling. We will be going now and we will meet in 1 week, Orochimaru said, and both of them disappeared in a blur. Hashtag with Kisame and Itachi hashtag. Itachi and Kisame dropped the chase after Naruto, without losing his location, and started walking calmly through the town, bursting with activities. They were searching for an appropriate distraction for the Toad Sage. The Toad Sage was a well-renowned and self-claimed super pervert, and of course his biggest weakness was women. They were scanning the crowd until their eyes met with a woman that would get the job done very well. They calmly walked towards her and stopped in front of her. She had a slender body, C-cup breast, well-toned and shaped legs, beautiful green eyes and dark blue hair. She was wearing a dark blue dress that ended just above her knees. All in all, she was someone any man would drool for, and Jiraiya would be no exception. Can I help you? The woman asked with a melodic voice as she watched the cloaked individuals stop in front of her. One of the cloaked men lifted his hat, and the last thing she saw was a pair of deep blood-red eyes, as if they were staring into her soul. Hashtag with Jiraiya, Hinata, and Naruto hashtag. The team was currently walking through the village in the hopes of finding a good hotel so they could rest for the night, and the following day they would search for Tsunade. After a few minutes of walking, they all noticed a hotel and decided to settle in. As they were walking towards the entrance of the hotel, Jiraiya spotted a woman. Now, this wouldn't be a surprise to anyone since all of them knew Jiraiya very well, but the fact that said woman smiled and waved at Jiraiya actually surprised Naruto and Hinata. Jiraiya had hearts on his eyes as he saw the beauty that was waiting for him. Jiraiya didn't even need to think twice as he said, "Check in here and work on chakra control," Jiraiya said, and ran as if his life depended on him towards the woman who was waiting for him with a small smile. Naruto just sweat dropped when he told him to work on chakra control. At least it wasn't that bad since Naruto's chakra control still could be better. "Let's settle in," Naruto said and started walking into the hotel when he noticed that Hinata wasn't following him. "Something wrong?" Naruto asked as he watched Hinata look at the roof of one building. "No, Naruto-kun, let's go in," Hinata said, and they both stepped in and walked towards the attendant's desk where there was an elderly man waiting. "We would like one room with 2 beds to spend the night," Naruto said, and the man nodded. "That will be 200 ryo," the man said, and Naruto handed him the money and got the keys to his room. Both walked up the stairs and headed towards their room. Their room was located on the 2nd floor. They walked through a long hall before stopping at the right door. They opened it and walked in. It was a simple room with 2 beds, a couch, a table with chairs, a closet, and a small window aimed towards the town. Naruto immediately dropped his fan to the ground and plopped to the bed while Hinata went to look through the window and watched the activity going around in the town. After a couple of minutes, Naruto sat up in the bed and got into lotus position and started meditating. He took long breaths and sensed his heart rate slow down. He channeled chakra to his ears and he could hear everything, the water dripping in the bathroom, a small fly buzzing around, and even Hinata's heart rate. He decided to expand his senses to see if he could locate Tsunade around town, but was surprised he didn't feel any Hiraishin seals nearby, and he placed one in Hinata's ring. Naruto opened his eyes and looked towards Hinata, who was now sitting on the couch reading something. His eyes trailed towards her hands and noticed that she still had her fox ring on. He tried once again to feel the Hiraishin marker but couldn't. As he was sensing the mark, he felt that Hinata's chakra was different from what he knew. Something is wrong, Naruto thought as he watched carefully Hinata. She seemed normal for now, but her chakra was different and the Hiraishin mark didn't work. "Hey Hinata-chan," Naruto called out, gathering her attention. "Did you know that Ero Sennin said that my Rasengan wasn't complete?" Naruto asked. "No, I didn't know." "What is missing?" Hinata asked, and Naruto smirked. Naruto, faster than lightning, pulled a kunai and threw it at the top of his speed towards Hinata. She didn't even consider that Naruto would attack her and got hit, and the kunai embedded deep on her right shoulder, missing her heart by a few inches. Not even a couple of seconds later, Hinata exploded in a poof of smoke, revealing that it was nothing more than a shadow clone. Naruto was about to sit down and try to sense her Hiraishin marker when the door of his room was destroyed and 2 people were standing there. They were both tall and they were wearing a long black cloak with red clouds in them, and both had a straw hat with a small bell hanging there. Naruto couldn't see their faces, and as such he couldn't identify his enemies. His pervert of a godfather picked the worst moment to go chase women. Naruto sensed their chakra levels and noticed one of them had high Kage chakra levels while the other was through the roof. One of the enemies was on par with him, not counting the Kyubi. "Where is Hinata?" Naruto asked, but both of them remained impassive. They removed their hats and showed Naruto who exactly they were. "Uchiha Itachi," Naruto said, and immediately his Sharingan flared to life. "Looks like the rumors were true, you really have the Sharingan," Itachi said in his monotone voice. "I will say this one more time. Where is Hinata?" Naruto asked. "If you touched a single hair on her head, I swear to Kami I'll kill you both," Naruto said, pissed off. "All bark but no bite," the shark-like man said, laughing. "Kage Shuriken no Jutsu," Naruto said, and threw a single shuriken that multiplied upon dozens heading towards both intruders. Kisame just swinged his massive blade and swatted the shurikens aside, making them fall to the ground harmlessly. "He will be annoying. Can I cut his legs?" "He won't need them," Kisame asked Itachi. "Enough, Kisame," Itachi replied and turned to Naruto. "Naruto-kun, as long you come peacefully with us, Hinata will not be harmed," Itachi said in his monotone voice. "So you are with the Akatsuki, right?" Naruto asked, and both raised an eyebrow until it clicked in Itachi's mind. "Jiraiya told you, didn't he?" Itachi rhetorically asked. "Yes, he did, but enough of that." "Where is she?" Naruto asked. "Now that would be telling," Kisame taunted. I had enough of this, Naruto said, formed a shadow clone. Find her, he ordered the clone that immediately dropped to the ground in the lotus stance with the original not taking the eyes of both Akatsuki members. The clone extended his senses as far as he could to try locating Hinata's marker. A few seconds later he found it. I have her position, the clone replied, and Naruto nodded. Itachi and Kisame both wondered what he meant when he said he had her position. Go rescue her, Naruto said, and the clone vanished in a flash of yellow light heading towards Hinata's marker. That was the Hiraishin no Jutsu, Itachi said. God smacked, and even Kisame raised an eyebrow. After all, the Hiraishin technique was well known through the world and the legend that created it. You think I wouldn't take precautions? Naruto asked loud enough for them to hear as they watched him walk through the room and pick a weapon they didn't notice it was there. That's Madara's gunbai, Itachi thought as small smile graced his lips. The kid was really full of surprises. Naruto channeled chakra to his storage seals and took a couple of three-pronged kunais. With lightning speed and precision he threw them towards the Akatsuki members. Kisame was about to bring his sword to deflect them when he was grabbed by Itachi and flinged to the hall as Naruto appeared in front of him with a Rasengan in hand. Damn it, Kisame, pay attention and stop underestimating your opponent, Itachi said as Kisame got up. You remember what happened when you kidnapped Hinata, Itachi said, and Kisame pouted. According to Kisame, Hinata was a slippery bitch and she didn't go down without a fight. Hinata managed to land a few Juken strikes that would have crippled anyone else and kicked him where the sun doesn't shine, but thanks to his sword, Samahata, he managed to reopen his chakra points and heal any damage. Fine, Kisame replied, and both took a stance. The brat might not be that good, but the Hiraishin technique wasn't to be underestimated, and apparently the brat knew the Rasengan was well. Itachi activated his Sharingan and both Sharingan users locked eyes as if measuring the power beneath them. Itachi was surprised when he saw Naruto's chakra aura around him. He seemed to radiate a power, but in a calm way. His chakra seemed powerful and violent, but yet Naruto was calm and collected. Be careful, Kisame, his chakra levels are on par with yours, Itachi said, and Kisame laughed. Finally a challenge, we might need to change the location if this escalates. Kisame said, snickering. He never knew someone that had as much chakra as him, and finding such opponent was always good. We can't prolong this fight or Jiraiya might sense his chakra, Itachi explained and locked eyes with Naruto. I'm sorry Naruto-kun, but this is where it ends, Itachi said, and Naruto got confused to what Itachi was taking about. Itachi talked as if his next move would ensure his victory. Naruto watched as Itachi closed his eyes and concentrated. The moment he opened, the ordinary three-tomoed Sharingan was replaced by a three-pointed shuriken. Tsukuyami, Itachi said the moment his eyes opened. You are using those eyes too much, Itachi-san, Kisame said as Itachi caught Naruto in his genjutsu. It was necessary. He knew how to use the Hiraishin and was going to prove himself difficult to catch, Itachi explained. Hashtag Tsukuyami world hashtag. Naruto's world shifted into another completely different. Naruto was now in an open field, but the sky was red and clouds and sun deep black. Suddenly Itachi appeared in front of him, staring intently at him as if studying him. So this is the Tsukuyami, Naruto said as he studied the illusion. This is the ultimate genjutsu of the Mangekyo Sharingan. In here I am God, I control everything, even time itself. 3 days in here are but 3 seconds in the real world. Itachi explained as Naruto was suddenly trapped in a wooden cross and Itachi appeared in front of him with a sword. You seem very proficient in this genjutsu, Naruto said and turned to lock eye with Itachi. How is your eyesight these days? Naruto innocently asked and Itachi froze. He couldn't have, it's impossible, not even the tablet says that the Mangekyo blinds the user, Itachi thought as he eyed Naruto very carefully and wearily. How do you know? Itachi asked, actually interested. I know a lot, Itachi, and I know you will eventually end up blind, Naruto cryptically said, taunting Itachi, but he didn't bite. Itachi studied Naruto very carefully, particularly his Sharingan. His chakra pathways beneath Naruto's eyes seemed very well developed, indicating he had the Sharingan for years now. You really are Madara's grandson. I've noticed that you awakened your eyes a few years ago, Itachi said and Naruto nodded. I was 5 at the time, Naruto explained and Itachi raised an eyebrow. You are skilled, a shame we must take you. Now let's begin, Itachi said and was about to stab Naruto when he got interrupted. How about we don't get started, Naruto said and Itachi was surprised by his statement. Suddenly Naruto's eyes started spinning until it turned into a complete new pattern. A Mangekyo? Itachi asked, surprised. He would never in a million years expect Naruto to have advanced his Sharingan to the next level. Suddenly the whole world froze and Itachi was rooted in place. Piece by piece the Tsukuyomi world started shattering until it remained nothing but pieces on the floor, like a mirror breaking. Moments later Naruto was back in the real world still staring at Itachi. #real world ##. Kisame was about to ask what happened when Itachi fell to his knees clutching his head in pain and bleeding from his eyes. "You broke my Tsukuyomi," Itachi asked, but it was more a statement as he noticed that Naruto wasn't even affected by the genjutsu and he broke it like nothing. Jinchurikis are immune to illusions. "You should know that," Naruto said, taunting Itachi, and Kisame reacted by swinging his sword and trying to smack Naruto, but to his surprise his sword phased right through Naruto. When the sword left his body, Naruto turned and tried to slam a Rasengan into his chest, but to Naruto's surprise the Rasengan was absorbed into the sword. That was like Madara's technique. Is it because he is his grandson? Itachi thought as he watched Kisame's sword phase right through Naruto. "What the hell?" Naruto asked when he noticed his Rasengan being literally eaten by his sword. "My sword absorbs chakra, ninjutsu is useless against me," Kisame said laughing and tried another swing making Naruto jump back. "Then taijutsu is the only thing left," Naruto thought and looked back at Itachi who was still recovering from Naruto breaking his illusion. "Ninjutsu is useless as long he has his sword," Naruto mused in thought. Naruto decided to employ his strongest form of taijutsu. He channeled lightning chakra through his arms and legs to increment his strength and was using his Kamui to outmaneuver Kisame. Naruto jumped in the air and tried a spin kick making Kisame tilt back slightly. Naruto allowed this opening and gave him an upward kick on his arm removing the Samehada from his grasp. Naruto picked the sword by the hilt but was surprised when the sword's hilt expanded and shredded his hand's skin making him drop the sword on the ground and clutch to his bleeding hand. Taking this advantage Naruto was forced to duck under a kick. Kisame saw Naruto duck and placing his hands on the ground for support used his other leg to kick his shoulder and throw him back. Naruto used this opportunity and slipped an explosive tag in Kisame's chest without him noticing. Naruto was pushed back by the kick, he flipped mid-air and landed on the ground harmlessly. Kisame was grinning like a madman until Naruto placed his right hand on the tiger sign and said, "Kai," and the tag exploded killing Kisame. "Now for you," Naruto said as he walking towards Itachi who was slowly regaining his footing from the pain he got. Naruto was about to attack him when he was kicked from behind and sent flying into the wall. Naruto shakily got up and wiped a bit of blood from his mouth. He had cracked a rib from that kick but Kurama was already healing him. Thank God he had the fan on his back, otherwise that kick would have done a lot more damage. Naruto got up to see who was the author of said kick and noticed Kisame was grinning at him. "I know for sure you weren't a clone," Naruto said, surprised to see Kisame back to his feet like nothing had happened. "As long as I have chakra my sword heals me for everything. I don't tire and I never fall," Kisame said grinning. They are both dangerous opponents. If Itachi can use the Tsukuyomi then he might be able to use those other 2-inch, Naruto thought. "Kisame, be careful, he has the Mangekyo as well," Itachi explained, and Kisame took notice to Naruto's new eyes. He grinned, happy to see that he would have a good fight. Up until now they all were doing lame missions without any worthy adversaries. Naruto was about to dash towards them when he received information from his clone. #with Naruto's clone ##. Naruto identified Hinata's marker and noticed she was about a mile from their current location. He pulled the marker and was teleported to Hinata's location. He arrived at some room with everything dark. He activated his Sharingan to scan his surroundings when he noticed Hinata tied to a chair all beat up with blood dripping from her lips. Naruto quickly made his way towards her and gently lifted her head to notice she was barely awake, but at least she was alive. "Hinata, Hinata?" Naruto asked, gently shaking her from her slumber. "And Naruto-kun?" Hinata barely managed to ask. Her voice was slipping and she was in pain all over. "Don't worry, you are safe now," Naruto said and warped her into his Sharingan dimension and placed her down on the floor since he didn't exactly have a bed on his dimension. "Kuchios no Jutsu, summoning technique," Naruto said, and in a poof of smoke Kagura appeared. "Kagura, hurry and help Hinata," Naruto quickly said, not even giving her time to realize where she was. Kagura immediately dropped next to Hinata and started doing a routine exam on her body. She was a bit bruised, but she didn't seem to have any external wounds. "Where are we?" Kagura asked. She looked at her surroundings and she was sitting on some metal cube. She looked around and there was nothing at the horizon but more cubes. The sky was pitch black, no sun, no clouds, no sound, no wind, nothing but emptiness and darkness. We are in my pocket dimension created by my Sharingan. We are safe here, Naruto explained as Kagura was healing Hinata. She has multiple cracked ribs as well, her left leg and a dislocated shoulder, Kagura explained, and Naruto clenched his fists. They were going to pay. And Naru. Hinata tried to say. Sure. Don't talk, Hinata. Rest now, you are safe, Naruto explained and gently kissed her forehead, and she went to sleep. Kagura, take care of her, I need to inform the boss, Naruto said. Naruto saw Kagura nodding and dispelled in smoke. Hashtag back to Naruto hashtag. You heard Hinata-chan, you are going to pay, Naruto said, and they both braced themselves for what was coming. Their leader warned them about engaging a Jinchuriki, or even worse, a pissed-off Jinchuriki. Come Kurama, Naruto said to his partner. Yes, let's show them what happens when they hurt our mates, Kurama replied and started sending his chakra to Naruto. In the real world, Naruto was started to get enveloped in a blood-red chakra cloak. His eyes maintained his Manjikyu activated, but his whiskers became more defined and his fangs elongated. Behind Naruto were 9 chakra tails swinging wildly. You are going to pay, Naruto said, and in a shockwave he launched himself at the top of his speed towards Itachi. The shockwave blew up the hall of the hotel and destroyed part of the wall. They all jumped out. Itachi and Kisame were running out of town with a pissed Jinchuriki on their tail. Both of them shared the same thought, she it, hashtag with Jiraiya hashtag. Jiraiya was happily walking through town showing his date some fun and winning a few prizes for her. Jiraiya didn't know if today was a special day, but the stores were bursting with activity and providing multiple games for tourists. You see that? Jiraiya asked, and the woman giggled at his excitement. He did manage to break all the plates, but it was nothing special for a shinobi. Suddenly a massive amount of chakra washed through the city, and even the civilians were panicking and running like wild chickens from the feeling they got. Damn it, Naruto, Jiraiya thought as he was preparing to run towards his godson. Sorry, but I have to leave, Jiraiya said and jumped away from his company, quickly running towards his godson. Hashtag with Orochimaru and Kabuto hashtag. Both of them felt the Kyuubi's chakra being unleashed, and it wasn't very far from their location. It felt like he was about 5-6 miles away from them. Looks like the Kyuubi brat is in town, Orochimaru said, chuckling, though I wonder what he could be doing to be using this amount of the Kyuubi's chakra, Orochimaru wondered. It might be the Akatsuki, Kabuto provided an explanation. Should we go help? Kabuto asked. Naruto-kun can take care of himself, Orochimaru said, chuckling evilly. After all, I don't pick weak and ordinary vessels, Orochimaru explained. But Sasuke-kun isn't even close to the level of Naruto-kun, Kabuto said. How very true, Orochimaru agreed. However, Sasuke is driven by vengeance and he will be easier to convince, and he also has the Sharingan. I would prefer Naruto-kun above all others since he even has the Mangekyo, but he won't come easily, Orochimaru explained, and Kabuto nodded. Hashtag with Tsunade and Shizen hashtag. Both women were at a bar with Tsunade drinking herself stupid with sake. After what she just heard from Orochimaru, it wasn't particularly hard to understand why she was doing this. Even though Tsunade was lightly drunk, both of them could easily feel the chakra that washed through the whole town. The chakra felt like power beyond anything, it felt like transcended human understanding. Tsunade-sama, do you feel that? Shizen asked, shivering. She knows very well what the Kyuubi did to Konoha 14 years ago. Tsunade asked, lifting her head from the table. Her cheeks were red from all the alcohol she had ingested. That's Kyuubi, Tsunade said, and she was performing a self-healing technique designed to quickly purge the sake from her system. Shizen, let's go, Tsunade said, picking up her jacket and running out of the bar heading towards the chakra source. Hi, Shizen replied, following her sensei. Hashtag back with Naruto hashtag. Itachi and Kisame were running out of town with Naruto hot on their trails. They stopped near an empty field and decided to make their stand there. Kisame, we can't prolong this. Jiraiya definitely sensed the Kyuubi's chakra, Itachi stressed out, and Kisame nodded. What do you suggest? Kisame asked. He dropped the playful attitude and took a more serious one. Any Jinchuriki using their bijou would be a dangerous opponent. The Tsukuyomi is useless and using it again would most likely knock me out, Itachi explained. Keep him busy. The backslash from Tsukuyomi weakened me and I need to gather chakra for the next move, Itachi said, and Kisame nodded. So you finally stopped running? Naruto asked, approaching both Akatsuki members. He was calmly walking towards them in all fours. Itachi jumped slightly back and started concentrating while Kisame stood his ground to face off against Naruto. "Let's play," Naruto said and rushed Kisame at blinding speeds, but Kisame wasn't an S-rank shinobi for nothing and could track him rather well. He quickly approached Kisame and tried to punch him by extending his chakra arm, but Kisame jumped to the side. Naruto brought his chakra claw down again, but Kisame blocked it with his sword and absorbed the chakra, destroying the chakra hand. "So you can even absorb Bijuu's chakra?" Naruto asked, surprised. Bijuu's chakra was one of the most potent ones out there. "Yes, and by the looks of it Samahata likes your chakra," Kisame said, grinning as Samahata was shaking with excitement at eating such good chakra. "Suetun, Bakus wa Shuha, great exploding water wave," Kisame said and pumped his lungs full of chakra, expelling a gigantic wave of water that came crashing into the ground. Naruto jumped up to avoid being hit and landed back on the water once it calmed down. "Raitun, Jibashi, electromagnetic murder," Naruto said and channeled lightning churka through the water, trying to shock Kisame, but to his surprise the sword absorbed it once again with the water remaining. "That sword is annoying," Naruto said and Kisame laughed. "I know, isn't it great?" Kisame said. "Suetun, Gashokuzame, 5 hungry sharks," Kisame said and slammed his hand onto the water. As he poured chakra into the water, it started molding until it formed 5 sharks that started speeding towards Naruto, who remained in place. The sharks quickly arrived near Naruto and flew out of the water trying to eat him, but Naruto just swatted them away like flies using his fan. In just a second all the sharks disintegrated back into water. Acting on the surprised face of Kisame, he quickly threw a 3-pronged kunai towards him as fast as he could. Kisame snapped out of his stupor and jumped as far as he could and managed to avoid a Rasengan to his chest. "It seems Naruto-kun's range is limited to about 15 feet from the kunais," Itachi concluded as he watched Naruto's Hiroshin. Itachi was gathering up chakra, but he could still watch and analyze the battle for any weakness Naruto may have. "Kisame, stay 15 feet away from the kunais," Itachi yelled out and Kisame nodded. He figured it out. Naruto thought, a bit surprised, but Itachi wasn't called a prodigy for nothing. Naruto was busy in his thoughts. He noticed Kisame appear right behind. "Suetun, Sura no Jutsu, water prison," Kisame said, and water enveloped Naruto, trapping him inside a water bubble. "I got you now," Kisame said, grinning. "No you don't," Naruto said, and using his Kamui he simple walked out of the bubble, much to the surprised face of Kisame. Naruto took the moment and with a well-placed kick threw his Samahata away from him. Naruto channeled chakra to his right hand and a swirling sound could be heard. "Udama Rasengan," Naruto said, but he still couldn't maintain his big Rasengan and it destabilized, blowing up in front of him. Kisame's chest got a few deep wounds like they were made with claws and was thrown backwards, bleeding from his chests. Samahata quickly approached his master and healed him. In just a few seconds Kisame was back on his feet. "I really hate that sword," Naruto thought, sighing. If he didn't find a way to rid him off that sword permanently, this would go on until one of them ran out of chakra. "Katon, Gokakyu no Jutsu, great fireball technique," Naruto said, and this time sent a big fireball powered with the Kyuubi's chakra towards Itachi, who wouldn't be able to dodge in time. Kisame quickly appeared in front of Itachi and said, "Suetun, Suijin Hiki, water wall," and a water wall rose up and blocked the fireball, creating a mist of steam that quickly dissipated as it was an open field. Naruto, using the mist as cover, made shadow clones that took his place while the original went beneath the water and underground. Kisame was quickly running towards Naruto to keep him busy and away from Itachi, so he didn't realize it was only a clone. "Shadow clone explosion," the clone Naruto said, and exploded. Kisame brought his sword in time and blocked the fire and jumped back to find Naruto, only to see him right in front of Itachi. The original Naruto quickly rose from the ground right in front of Itachi. Naruto's eyes were glowing with power. Naruto locked eyes with Itachi and whispered, "Tsukuyomi. ### Naruto's Tsukuyomi world ###. Naruto dragged Itachi into his own genjutsu. Naruto, after seeing Itachi's Tsukuyomi, knew how to perform it. Since Naruto's Tsukuyomi was copied from Itachi, his world was similar. The sky was red with sun and clouds being pitch black. "Welcome to my world. In here I'm God. I control everything, even time itself," Naruto said, smirking and taking a page from Itachi's book. "Very impressive, Naruto-kun, to be able to use this technique on your first try," Itachi said. "Thank you," Naruto said, and like Itachi he started stabbing Itachi with swords over and over, but Itachi didn't scream or wince once. But Itachi said, and Naruto focused on him. You are still far away from mastering it, Itachi said, and the Tsukuyomi snapped like a twig and they were brought back to the real world. #real world #. Naruto was brought forcefully to the real world and arrived just in time to duck under a swing from Samahata. However, the sword still grazed him and yanked a chunk of his chakra, forcing Naruto into a three-tailed state. Damn, that sword can eat, Naruto thought as he looked towards Samahata, who seemed to grow in size quite a bit. This is it, Naruto-kun, Itachi said, and his right eye started bleeding. Amaterasu, Itachi said, and around Naruto, black flames appeared out of nowhere and started burning Naruto. Naruto was enveloped in the black flames and his three-tailed cloak proved useless against the heat and power of the flames. Naruto quickly activated his Kamui and walked out of the flames with his skin scorched. What? He can even avoid the Amaterasu flames, Itachi said, astonished. He would never expect Naruto's Mangekyo powers to be this powerful. It only proves that Madara is a real menace, Itachi thought. If Naruto is this powerful and such young age, he didn't even want to think what power Madara could have. Naruto took a couple of heavy breaths and recomposed himself. Kurama had already healed the scorched skin, so Naruto was good to go. Naruto looked carefully at the black flames and analyzed them as best he could. So that's the Amaterasu, Naruto thought, and Kurama nodded as he had seen them before. If I didn't have the Kamui, I would resort to Fuinjutsu, but it would take time, Naruto pondered in thought. So that's how they are created, Naruto thought to himself. By making the particles vibrate to insane levels, he summons intense flames and, by making them absorb the radiation, it sustains the vibrations and makes their color black, Naruto concluded after looking very carefully at the flames. He would have to try this later, but it was time to end this. Naruto, be careful, he may be able to use the Susanoo, Kurama warned him. Itachi had already used 2 of 3 powers of his eyes. I will, Naruto replied as he watching them very carefully. Itachi looked like he was about to faint. Being a half-blood with a Mangekyo must be very taxing and painful. The brat is tough, Kisame said. Kisame was relatively healthy and his chakra reserves weren't even winded much like Naruto. Itachi on the other hand was a mess. Time to end this, Naruto said before coiling himself with his 3 tails around him. Naruto was enveloped in a blackish-purple barrier that blocked Kisame's view of Naruto. A second later the barrier exploded with a roar and their eyes widened to what they saw. It was Naruto, however it wasn't the one they knew. Naruto was now completely enveloped in the Kyuubi's chakra as it became his own skin. His ears were bigger, his eyes were still blood red with the Mangekyo, and he had 4 tails in his back. This was his version 2 cloak and he looked like a miniature Kyuubi. Ready? The Kyuubified, Naruto asked, smirking. You think you can scare us? Kisame rhetorically asked before flashing through hand seals and slamming his hands on the remaining water. Suetun, Senshikuko, 1,000 hungry sharks, Kisame said, and from the water countless sharks emerged, all going towards our blonde. As the sharks were coming closer, Naruto simply raised his right hand/paw and slammed it to the ground with huge force. A big shockwave emerged and vaporized all the sharks along with the water. When the dust settled down, there was nothing more than a crater with Kisame holding Itachi. We have severely underestimated the brat, Kisame said, taking deep breaths, and Itachi gave him a look that clearly said, you think? They didn't have time to think as Naruto was preparing his next attack. His tails were coiled around Naruto, ending just above his head. Blue and red chakra was seen floating in the air. Suddenly all the chakra started compressing until it formed a perfect sphere, still hovering mid-air. Both Kisame and Itachi were watching very carefully just what he was about to do until he swallowed the churka sphere. He ate it? Kisame asked out loud. Naruto had just eaten the ball when Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizune arrived at the scene. Naruto, is that you in there? Jiraiya asked, but Naruto couldn't exactly speak right now. Jiraiya, what is happening? Tsunade asked to her teammate. She didn't have much experience in fighting Jinchurikis or using seals. Brace yourselves, Naruto managed to say before the ball exploded in his stomach, making him look like a hamster. From Naruto's mouth came smoke and it was clear that something was about to come out. Bijidama, Naruto said, and reddish ball of energy exploded from Naruto's mouth, going with tremendous speed towards both Akatsuki members. Itachi's eyes glowed just before the energy ball hit them and exploded, destroying everything. The ground was shaking like an earthquake, the wind was furiously pushing everything back and everything was torn apart, even the earth itself was destroyed. What in the war? Jiraiya was cut off as he had summoned the stomach of a toad to protect himself along with Tsunade and Shizune from the blast and the heat the wind was carrying. The blast was over and the dust was clearing, and right in front of Naruto there was nothing more than destruction. Around Naruto was a 20-meter wide crater, but the real damage was directly in front of him, a 100-meter path that was blasted away. As the dust cleared, Jiraiya dropped his shield and his jaw dropped at the destruction ahead of him. The whole plain where they stood was now nothing more than rubble. Kisame and Itachi were still alive, as Itachi had a reddish humanoid barrier around him. "That's it, Naruto. The Susanoo," Kurama said from his mind, and Naruto watched as Itachi rose from the ground with his Susanoo still active. "The shield withstood a low-powered Bijidama," Naruto replied to his partner. "That is just a watered-down version of it. The real Susanoo can destroy mountains by itself," Kurama explained, and Naruto got giddy. "Kisame, we are leaving," Itachi said and fainted. Kisame picked him up and as fast as he could shined away from the area. They were barely holding against Naruto, but now Jiraiya and Tsunade had arrived. "Naruto, are you in there?" Jiraiya asked as he approached the cubified Naruto with caution. "Yes, it's me," Naruto said as he dropped his cloak and sat on the ground to catch his breath. "What in the world was that?" Jiraiya almost yelled out, pointing towards the blast field. "That was the Biju's ultimate attack. It's called a Bijidama, tailed beast ball, and that is what my father based the Rasengan on," Naruto explained as he got up to his feet and cleaned his forehead of sweat. "You picked the best time to go peek at the hot springs. They kidnapped Hinata," Naruto said, and Jiraiya's eyes widened. "Did you get her back?" Jiraiya asked. "I did, but she was injured. I've got a medical fox taking care of her," Naruto explained, and turned to see Tsunade and Shizune looking at him with their jaws on the ground. "By the way, I found Tsunade," Jiraiya said, and everyone's sweat dropped. "Hey there, Bachan." If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.